Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
Okay, go.
I'm right, I'm ready. Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. This is a podcast about board games that is semi-recorded live at the Dallas Hyatt Marriott.
Semi-recorded.
Is it the Dallas Hyatt Marriott?
Dallas Hyatt Regency.
Regency. I knew it was something like that, something pompous. This is Jerry.
Gabby.
Someone else is here.
No, Bubba's here now.
And?
Enrique.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah.
This is Friday. This is Friday night, and we're recording in our motel room because we're about to go down to the poker tournament here at the BGG Con.
Yes.
And we're going to win.
No, wait a minute.
No, you're going to get one table in. Jerry's going to get bored. I'm not enjoying this year. Bubba's going to try hard.
I'm going to try.
No, try hard is the
I'm a
best
little
way to
hungry,
go.
though, so I may have to sabotage myself.
Intense focus.
Listen. It's not about how well you do. It's about the heart.
It's true.
I found something disturbing.
All right, find it.
And this is from some time ago. Actually, it was from October. In Oregon, not one drop of blood, cattle mysteriously mutilated.
Okay.
And there's no update.
Well, what do you mean?
They're finding cattle in the early morning light. Dust from hooves creates a fog at Sylvie's Valley Ranch. 5 young purebred bulls mysteriously showed up dead on this ranch, drained of blood, and with body parts precisely removed. What body parts, you may ask? His red coat is as shiny as if he were going to the fair, but he's bloodless, and his tongue and genitals have been surgically cut out.
Chupacabra.
No,
I
come
was thinking
on.
the exact same thing. I was
Oh
actually
my-
looking it up.
It's a chupacabra.
It's a chupacabra, man.
In Oregon? No, it's a Sasquatch.
No, they don't
Not
have
search
Sasquatch.
He's
Not-
developed tools.
Not that
Chupacabra
noise.
And now
has-
he's on a
migrated
No.
for the winter
No,
time.
no. He went north.
North for the winter.
I like it when it's cold.
Well,
He's been down hot.
well, it could be a forest yeti.
Like Forrest Whitaker?
They're similar, except they have both eyes open. He actually has. What does Forrest Whitaker have with that eyeball?
I don't know. It's not like a lazy eye.
No, not a lazy eye. It's
It's a-
actually something where you
It's a
have.
lazy eye.
Drop eye.
An eye
It's
that
some
doesn't
sort of
work
where
hard.
your eyelid hangs down a little
Yeah,
bit low.
it's not dropsy, but what I mean, I know it's not it.
Do that eyelid's parents like kick him out when he's 18? Like, you're lazy. Get out of here.
And why are you
Lazy eye.
doing making fun of body shaming? You are body shaming.
No, don't you?
How dare you? We here at the Board Game Snobs are anti-body shaming.
Forrest Whitaker.
This is a podcast about board games. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn,
Oh,
Instagram.
speaking of eyes,
No, it's lazy eye.
It is lazy eye?
Yeah, it's called.
Yeah,
is that the
lazy
proper
eye.
term? It's not like, you know.
no, the proper term is ptosis.
Yes.
That's what I
ptosis.
thought it was.
Yeah, also known as a lazy
Ptosis.
eye.
Favorite Forrest
It does.
Whitaker movie?
Don't have one.
You obviously never watched Ghost Dog.
What's Ghost Dog?
That's like the Ghost
Is
Dog.
it a dog that's a ghost?
You're just gonna look. Anyway, if anybody
you
knows what I'm
guys are
talking
so
about,
old.
you email me because everybody knows that soundtrack was lit.
Don't
Wait a minute.
say that again.
Bubba, was that
No.
right? Lit.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, that was urbanly correct.
Bubba has been helping me on my slang. See, here's the thing. Our podcast is really big. Like, it's got tens of downloads in Europe and Australia. But here in the urban areas of the United States, we're not really reaching out.
spread it to
So
your
I have decided to
No.
expand my vernacular to be able to encompass everyone.
Yeah.
And so Bubba is now coaching me. I've learned about, was it Biggie Smalls? Biggie?
You learned about Biggie Smalls?
And
Explain that name to me. Why
Biggie?
Biggie Smalls?
well, it's like jumbo shrimp.
Like,
Is it something small or is it jumbo?
was his name Smalls?
I don't think so.
Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot his name.
It's probably like Clancy or
Oh
something.
no, it's like I forgot his name. Chris.
Yeah.
Christopher Smalls?
No, his name's Chris. I don't know what they done. Chris
I just
Wallace.
know Chris.
I'm just saying, Chris.
But
Wallace.
he's dead now,
Chris?
right?
Yes,
Like Rip Torn.
he's done.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Also,
Rip Torn.
this woman, a second woman, has gotten parasitic eye worms.
Now, that is a thing
Apparently so.
that gets into your aqueous
Says,
humor,
and surely we're all next.
and it's not funny.
Or watery.
Yeah.
Right
You
now,
laugh.
right
Gives
now,
you watery
some
eyes.
ophthalmologist is listening to this. He's just laughing. Ha 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 ha. That was for you, sir. Optometrist.
Aqueous humor.
Appreciate you.
It says she was running, and most likely a fly landed in her eye that dropped this worm in there.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Sounds about
And like
right.
she was washing her eyes, and she washed a worm out of her eye. Thought she was done. Like, if I had a worm in my eye, I wouldn't think I'm done.
Hospital.
You keep doing it.
You just keep
Appointment.
go to the hospital.
Honey, come check me out.
But finally, she went to the hospital and they extracted worms, and they said there was like larvae in there. Like if she had waited longer, it was going to have an eye full of worms.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Why are we talking about this?
Because we went
We
from
went off
mutilated
like
camel to eyes to eye worms,
So listen,
not earworms.
I don't want to think about
Eye
the
worms.
chupacabra. I don't want to think about eye worms.
What do you want to think about?
I want to think about
What do you not like in life? What is something you just like to think about? Like brings you when things are bad. You know what I like to think about? And don't say me because that's the obvious answer. Something else. What do you want to think about, Bubba? What do you want to think about?
Oh, I know you was gonna ask that. What do I think
What
about?
brings you pleasing? You know, like people say, go to your happy place.
Bubba's a poet.
Oh man, I mean,
He writes
happy
poetry.
places.
I know that.
Happy places, no. Well, one, literature is great. I mean, I like to read. Go to my happy place. I got a couple good authors in mind. Other than that, man,
Couple, like King Arthur,
nah, King Arthur's one of them. You know what I'm saying? At least a story.
Arthur C. Clarke.
Yeah,
Are they your Arthurs?
you know what I'm getting into?
Arthur
Seriously.
Conan Doyle.
And I'm 33 years old. I'm about to turn 34. I'll tell you what I'm getting into. First time in my life. Comic books. I have never read comic books before, ever
What
in
are
my
you
life.
reading?
I read.
Watchmen.
No, seriously.
I did read The Watchmen.
Did you really?
Yes.
I didn't reach. I'm not reading it. I found an old article of Garfield, and I know that doesn't technically do it. I mean actual comic books.
That's not what I was thinking at all.
Completely different.
I know you did. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Comic strip.
No, well, here's the thing. So, what do you call a comic book
up, Beat
and a
Bailey.
graphic? What a graphic? What they call it? A graphic, whatever.
novel.
Bubba's up all
Yeah.
night like, wonder
Most-
what happens to Dick Tracy next.
Think about it though. Most people
face is
say
on the
comic
large.
books, and this is not a comic book. It's a graphic novel.
What's gonna happen to
I'm just throwing it out there. So that's pretty neat though. It's pretty
No,
funny.
I was in
Booyah.
when I was in middle school, I was all about Family Circus, Garfield. I hate Garfield now.
You didn't like
Do
Dick
you
Tracy?
really?
Well, yeah, I have Dick Tracy comic books.
I like Dick
I
Tracy.
have every single book of Calvin and Hobbes. Every
Seriously?
single comic.
Calvin and Hobbes is legit.
Every single one.
You know what? I didn't get Calvin and Hobbes humor until I was older.
I clipped the final comic out of the newspaper of Calvin and Hobbes. I think it was Bill Watterson or Watson.
Watterson.
I believe. They offered him scads of money to keep doing Calvin and Hobbes. He turned it down. I clipped the last article, last comic, and had it laminated. I think I still have it. I love Calvin and Hobbes. I have every
good
single
stuff.
book. I read it to my kids.
Okay, well, I was into Far Side.
Yeah, everybody's in the Far Side.
I know, because it's weird.
It is weird. You do have that Far Side humor. I want to
Non sequiturs. Is that what that's called?
non sequiturs.
Non-sequiturs?
The things that are out of order.
Like airplane type humor, like from the airplane movie, like just something like it's just random.
That's
Yes.
the second time I heard the airplane there. And I find that show hilarious. And I don't know that. I watched it for like the second time in my entire life.
It is
couple months
for
ago.
me. It's like it's my number one comedy
Yeah. Oh, really?
because it's just so.
I watched.
Even though it's old and
Yeah.
random,
But why don't you like Enrique? Because that's
Oh.
basically what he is just randomness.
That's true.
Enrique's humor
true.
is nothing but non-sequential
Randomness.
thoughts.
I mean, you have Airplane, Naked Gun 33 and Third, the Naked Gun series. That crap, some of that stuff was hilarious.
Hot
Over
Shots
top.
Part Two.
Yeah, that was good. And then I watched Major Pain, which probably isn't in that category, but I still liked it.
Oh, that's a good one. That's
Yeah,
a good one.
so
Major
I was-
Pain was
I was
a good
fun.
one.
And
Hot
then-
Shots?
Yes, and then Enrique.
Hot Shots Part 2. I use the line forever. Are you joking? No. If I were joking, I'd say a horse walks into a bar. Bartender says, "Why the long face?"
That's not a good one.
It gets me every time. And then he finds Mr. Bean. Says, Mr. Bean's in prison. And he's like, "Why didn't you escape? You're free." They tied my shoelaces together. And he looks down and he goes, "Those sons of..."
That's good.
All
All right, board game.
Charlie Sheen
Yes.
does the best straight face in Hot Shots Part 2. He is just straight.
If you don't know who he is, like and when he was that way, it was hilarious. Like I know later on, with the drugs and everything else in the show, whatever, he went a little crazy. But he was hilarious. I'm just throwing that out there. I have never. Anyway, my wife was needing to pick me up, so we played some comedy. It was good.
Board gaming. This is about Buzz Podcast is about board gaming.
We just need to change the name.
Well, I want to talk about Paris New Eden, which is a game by Bubba. Take it away. I got to eat my breakfast biscuit.
So it is a game by the publisher Madagascar, correct? The designer is Florian Grenner and Ludovic Mablanc, and then the artist is Agnes Rapoche.
I thought that was you can't wait to eat. Are you that hungry? You can't wait to eat a cracker in between takes.
I was gonna make that last, but I couldn't stretch it.
30 minutes.
I couldn't stretch it anymore. I couldn't. It is pretty good though. It's chocolate.
So we played Paris New Eden. It's a pretty game. A very pretty game.
Very colorful. Got
I'm
purples
not turning you back on while you're chewing.
Got purples in it.
It's a beautiful game. It's a civilization game.
Yep.
Did you like it?
So I think I rated
Overall thought, just quick thought.
Overall thought is word comes to mind is competent. It was a good competent game. I don't know how to put it in. That's the word that comes to mind. It was
Bubba Bailey.
It was better.
Snobs.
It's
competent.
It was good.
That'll do.
That was good.
You're on.
I'm on.
Stop chewing.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Now that y'all have talked for a little bit, I'll come in and correct.
Good.
Not at civilization game per se, because civilization.
So per se means, but it could be.
It could be.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to acknowledge that you're not that wrong.
I'm not wrong.
So you are trying to
permutation.
rebuild a civilization, but it's not when you say civilization game like competing civilizations. In Paris New Eden, basically
It's a dystopian future.
something bad has happened to Paris.
What happened?
I don't know. There's a lot of greenery going on. Global warming, I don't know. Ice age, I don't know what happened. But something happened. And now you're trying to rebuild.
Bubba, you were in Paris recently. What could happen in Paris?
Well, Paris is a very dirty city.
What?
Believe it or not.
Snap.
Yes, I was there like 2 weeks ago. And Paris is super dirty, and all the things you hear about Paris is true.
snap.
It's beautiful, but at the
You're
same time...
insulting our Parisians.
Well, no, I'm not insulting at all. I will say this. I think that some secret mode could be hiding in the 400-euro sewer system that somehow becomes
the
open.
catacombs
And everything else. And you can mix with a disease, and next thing you know, it's realistic. It could really happen. I'm
The
serious.
catacombs where Indiana Jones went.
No, the catacombs.
No.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Was that in the movie?
Yeah.
Was it Paris?
He went under the thing.
He went
Oh,
under
I
there.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Which one? What Indiana Jones?
3.
Yeah.
Is that those the arc one?
Tapestries, which we missed out on that somebody pointed out to us.
About
okay.
tapestry?
Yes.
Thank you.
At any point when you're in Paris, did you try to speak Parisian?
No. I'm gonna tell you the reason
Which
why.
I guess would be AKA French.
French, yeah.
France.
If you do not know how to speak French, don't try it.
Do they look down on you?
I think that some people do look down on you. Some people want you to try and fail.
I'm not classifying all.
Yeah,
of
not
them.
all of them, but I think that
But
if
I
you don't know how
have
to
heard
speak it.
it can you can be treated rudely in certain
Yeah,
places.
but normally if they see you, I think, and probably this is not their fault. It's probably our fault. If they see you,
Who's
they
they
assume
and
that
who's our?
They as okay.
I've never
Our
been
means
there.
as Americans who
Those
speak
people.
English. Parisians as being them. I think when they see you, they assume that you are a dumb American who doesn't know how to speak French, which most likely you are a dumb American who doesn't know how to speak French, and they treat you accordingly.
But to defend the France,
But go ahead.
they have like the highest tourism rate in the world. It's like 38 million people a year.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Comes to
It makes
France.
sense. I mean, it makes sense why you would.
I would be tired of seeing somebody who doesn't speak my language who's asking me for directions.
Yeah.
and
I get it.
obnoxious.
And obnoxious.
Yeah.
If Jerry
Americans-
Baker came to France and I was like living next door to the Louvre and I hear Jerry Baker, oh, I hear they call this the Louvre. Mona Lisa's in here. Why does she only smile? How come she never laughs?
That's your best impersonation of me.
I would be like, oh, these Americans.
And this is why we're not popular in France.
That's why I bought my friend right there.
Hey, here, I'm trying to better myself with my vernacular
You bitter
to reach
yourself.
all people of everywhere. And here
You've been
you are.
using bitters in your whiskey here
I
lately.
have.
Yeah.
I've been using these
Did you know
Aragosta.
that? We just switched it on that. Well,
or aromatic
you get him off
bitters.
topic.
can I say one thing about the
Put a
French
little
before we get off the
splash
subject?
in your
ahead.
bourbon.
The thing is, I think it has one of the most beautiful countries that I've been through.
I'm going to put a little splash
So,
of this
if-
in
What
my
about the
bourbon.
people?
You in
Are they
Fran-
prettier?
in Fran- So
They're all pretty.
No, I think. Well, here's the thing. They're very European.
What does that mean?
They're very.
Oh, snap.
They're very Anglo-Saxon.
Are they all
snap.
worker placement?
Well, so put it in that way.
Dry. No theme. No theme.
They all.
Round trading wood just for stuff.
I'll give you
they're all
2
dick-
sheep for some wood.
They're all deck builders with their appearance.
Do you have any wheat?
Oh,
Oh,
Does that make sense?
you're not welcome back.
We'll use that. We'll use that board
I
game.
don't know what that means.
Boy, they're all deck
act
builders
like
with their
it, dude.
appearance. They put on.
Oh, they put on lots of stuff.
They put on. Yeah, they're very
layer?
they're layered up. Like you come out very well presented. I think
Really?
the thing
Like
that people
makeup?
Yeah, makeup, the dress, the style,
like
everything
they're
else.
gussied up.
Yeah,
As
that's
we
a
would say
normal.
here in the South.
They're gussied
up.
They're gussied.
Well,
But the board game in Paris was
as an old
gussied as
friend of
well.
mine used to say, even an old barn looks good with some new paint.
Paris New Eden isn't necessarily just about like Paris, though. I mean, it's just there's nothing in it besides the theme.
It is
There was literally nothing Paris
literally.
related.
Now wait a
It had
minute.
the Eiffel Tower in it.
Was the Eiffel Tower in
There's a
there?
They're
picture
covered
of
in
an
green
Eiffel
stuff.
Tower
I didn't
with,
even look.
with
Covered in
stuff
green
growing
stuff,
out of it.
yeah.
So quick,
So I
here's-
guess we should get back to Paris.
give
New
me
Eden.
20 seconds to give a rundown of Paris New Eden. Paris New Eden, really nice art. But anyways, the mechanics of it is you select a dice from one of these 5
Would it
action
be R
spaces.
or is?
After you select that dice, the dice are of these various workers. You take them into your tableau, and then you do the action. After several rounds, you then decide who has the most of one type of worker, and then you bid on these buildings that are out underneath the rest of the board. You obtain these buildings give you bonuses, equipment, so forth and so on. And then after you have built all your buildings, you then go out on these various events, which give you victory points. And then in the Agricola style, you have to feed all the people in your little refuge, which is where you get a lot of your victory points. Rinse, dry, repeat for 4 rounds. We got introduced to Paris New Eden by the company here at BGG, where they had a vendor. Me and Enrique played it. Really liked it.
Oh, sorry.
You're on now, Enrique. You may speak. Your evil
I didn't want to
overlord
just
has
capture his
turned.
heavy breathing.
Your evil overlord has turned on
Was
your
it?
mic.
You're good. Go.
I always do
Engage.
that for some.
You do breathe
but,
deep.
Yeah. But and it was
He has 2 lungs, 1
it
kidney.
was me, you, and then the guy who was teaching the demo.
Right, and we enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was basically we loved it because it was fat, even though it was the
fat?
first.
It's
Stop.
fast.
It was
Oh,
fat.
I thought you said fat.
No,
no.
Don't you tell me what to say.
Kim.
I can't help what I hear.
You can help what you
But-
say.
I can't.
But
Go, sorry.
even though it was the 3 of us, the rounds went fairly quickly.
Yeah,
Did you
it was
take
just-
him to the Super Bowl?
It was just 4 rounds.
Yeah.
And anyways, we then entered a tournament
Did you
of
say
it.
rounds or browns?
We did enter. I'm trying to overlook all this. You people are.
I said browns.
Y'all are terrible.
Am I hearing that bad?
Yes, you are deaf. You don't realize that 50% of our
I'm
podcast
sorry.
is you thinking somebody else said something else and you commenting about it?
My bad.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Anyways. Yeah, it was a really decent game. I thought it was.
Oh, that's quite the compliment.
Screwed up.
So much like Bubba's, it was very what? What'd you say?
Competent.
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 Very
It was a
decent.
competent
Very
game.
decent.
Very decent. Very competent.
Decent.
All right,
game.
here's-
So that means it's a solid game with solid mechanics, but you don't love it.
Well, I don't love it, but here's
Yeah.
why. Here's why I like it.
Tell me why.
It's difficult. It is a punishing game. It's really difficult to manage your settlement because your settlement, when it comes time to grow your settlement, it's based off your dice, and you just end up getting useless workers. They have these what they call slackers, which aka millennials, that come into your refuge that basically you can do nothing with them. And they just cost you food. You have to
Enrique,
feed
how does that
them.
make you feel?
Enrique, are
I'm
you
a Gen
millennial?
Z, my
He's a
guy.
Gen Z.
I'm not offended.
Oh, snap.
Oh, yeah. So, see.
Is Bubba a millennial? By definition?
No.
I mean, it goes up to like 30, I thought.
No.
Me and Bubba are across them.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
We're
We're
what
not
are
part of
we?
that
What are
Rubicon.
we? We're not baby boomers.
We're not baby boomers. We're not.
We're the
millennials.
before baby boomers, before millennials.
man.
We're
Well, if y'all are not millennials, then you're with
you're
me,
Gen
and
X?
you're Gen X.
Yeah.
Gen
Are you
X.
Are we Gen X?
I'm Gen
We're
X,
Gen
baby.
X. Why are you rubbing your
Pearl
bald
Jam.
head?
Pearl Jam. Is
I
that
love
Gen
to
X?
rub my bald head after I've dipped it in oil.
So, anyways, Paris New Eden is a decent game. I really liked it because of its difficulty. It's different because not only are you selecting these dice, you have to really plan ahead and decide what are you going to do. And the 3 paths to victories tend to be: are you going to focus on food, gathering food for your
Put your mic up a little bit closer to your face.
Refuge, or are you going to go out and do these missions, which require you either to have these healers, these warriors, or these medical people to go out and complete? I liked it. I liked it enough that I almost... It's different enough. And here's what I'd say.
Would you buy it?
I would be close to it. Close. Here's why. It's different enough and it's challenging enough. It's refreshing enough that it's not the same old Euro worker placement.
Same old, same old.
I would say that at this con, it's definitely one of the best top 5 games I've played.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because we finished it. That's a feat with
I
you.
have played 5 games of it here.
Well, you were in a tournament. You were forced to.
I liked it.
That's
enjoyed
good.
it. So
I found it, the feeding. Well, like y'all said, you have to pick a path, which I did not. I was trying to fulfill these bonus tiles. I was trying to feed, and you end up kind of doing neither. So
you end up starving.
You end up starving.
Or your people were thin.
But if you do feed, you get lots of points. So, but feeding is tough.
It's very tough.
And it's not like 1 for 1. Like you might have 25 people at a scale. So if you enter this level of 20 people, where it costs 6 food.
Yeah. And it's interesting enough that I thought that the artwork was great. What I saw, the rule book was really good. And I would recommend it to people that are looking for something different. For instance,
it is different. I like that. But it was frustratingly tight for me.
It was good. But I really think that I don't know what I don't like enough about it, why I'm not raving about it. It's not a game.
Well, it's what I said. It's a good game, but it's not fun. It's work.
Well,
it's work.
I think,
and you don't like work, Bubba.
I don't like work.
I think
I'm a truck driver.
I like the game. The only reason why I call it competent is that I don't know. I have a tendency where you're doing the same round over and over again, and I think that
good point. Every round you're doing the same thing.
I think what you need for is you need to.
every
There wasn't
game.
enough
No,
conflict.
that's not every game.
There wasn't enough
It's a lot of
conflict
games.
as we went through the rounds. What I mean is, I essentially played my game. I think you make the point that you got what you wanted to do. He did what he wanted to do. Gabi did what he wanted to do with the points. Enrique did what he wanted to do.
Disagree.
You need more conflict in the game.
Like y'all were taking dice I really wanted or needed.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry.
When
So
it
did
came
that
to
force you-
farmers
did that-
or those things, the bonus tiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that
So,
not
like,
force your strategy though? And then you did the whole just ramp up and do the.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
because like there's only 2 dice in some spots.
Yeah.
So in a 4-player game, those can be gone very quickly.
That makes sense. Well, see,
So
still there's a lack
those
of
bonus
conflict.
tiles, the first 2 people that get them can flip over 2 of the 3. Don't crackle that.
Belvita breakfast sandwiches.
Stop with your crackers.
Oh, and by the way,
like these.
while we just got off this point,
These are
we
really
sponsored by Belvita?
Well, no, but they're these little bitty sandwiches that are breakfast crackers.
I was on a roll. About
so
the game
Jared, would
for
you eat this?
one time?
Would you eat
The
that?
one
Would you
time-
eat that if you were on the Oregon Trail? Would you eat that?
That just
Number one, I die of dysentery.
Okay. Well, the reason why I say that is I asked that question, which is kind of odd because that's where your interests lie. You and I are what they call the Oregon Trail generation.
What? Did
We're
you
on
look
the
up?
Oregon. Yes, I looked it up. We're on the
I have
Oregon
never
Trail.
been to Oregon.
We are a micro.
That's because
We're
the
a micro
animals
generation.
eviscerated them and left the trail organs.
That's That's what's
literally
going on.
Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail. Is that what's going on with the cattle?
That's where it come from. Look, hidden
You're
history.
really proud of
We
yourself.
I am. We are
looking
dropping
at-
knowledge today.
I'm looking at.
So
I'm looking
that's not
at
in the
Gobby.
history books. That's not in the history books.
I'm looking at Gobby leaning back, being very proud of that connection, that hard merge. That was nice.
hard.
That
Gobby,
proper 12 is good too.
Gobby, we'll say that
good
was
stuff.
that was real talk. Real talk.
Thanks.
That's it.
Very welcome.
Anyways, Oregon
Get us
Trail.
back on track, Jerry.
Oregon Trail generation.
we're going back to
Paris,
that.
New Eden. Paris, New Eden. I enjoyed it. It's right on the cusp of greatness. I would suggest.
We are in day 3 of BGG, by the way.
Yes. And so, we
And
can
I
talk
would
about
s-
day 2.
Okay.
But beforehand,
But before that, go ahead.
I believe that Paris, New Eden is different enough that you should check it out. It's not gotten a lot of attention. And the fact that I am least interested in it must say that it must be a competent and very...
So one word
I would.
to make it better: expansion.
You think an expansion would
I
help?
think if they put an expansion on it and added a little diversity to it, I think that if you put an expansion to it, it may make it better. It may be one of those games where you play it, add a little different dynamic, and you may go, that may make up for that missing
Something.
something.
It doesn't
that's
have
in
the je ne sais quoi.
Huh? What did we do? What did we do on day 2 of BGG?
Day 2, I played War Chest.
And
It's very interesting. It's very, very. I wouldn't buy it, but it's Onitama meets. I mean, it's like it should be War Chess. It's War Chest. But yeah, you have these different abilities with these different tokens. The tokens are very nice, very sturdy. The components are very nice. It's Onitama kind of Undaunted if you can mix those two together. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't buy it, but I would play it again. You have, like, I think it's 5 different abilities from these tokens. You draw them out of a bag. You have draw 3. When you draw those 3, you can deploy them. Once you get some deployed, well, then you have more actions to take from there. You can deploy, move, or attack. And all your attacks are different depending on the tokens that you draw out. You have some that are like warriors up close. You have some that are archers from a distance. And they all, depending on which side you're on, they have different things they can do. I got beat down real easy. The guy was really good. Well, actually, I'm terrible. But it was like you take over these 6 points of interest. You have to take over 6. I was 6-4.
I played a game called Deep Blue by none other than
wow.
Days of Wonder.
That one has been thrashed by the critics.
Really?
Yes, no one likes it.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm just telling you what I've heard.
Okay, here's what's interesting about it and why I didn't buy it, but I could see where it would have a place in somebody's collection. Deep Blue is a diving game, and as you know, I used to be a diver recreationally. Recreationally, I did it for fun. And in Deep Blue, you go out and you dive for treasure, and you have your little boats, 2 of them, which you move around the board, and you do it kind of Concordia style. You have a hand of cards which you play and do the action, such as you move to here. The cards could either have you move, or you could spend them for money to buy crew members that give you bonuses. You go to these areas in the ocean, and then you dive. And when you dive, it's simulated by pulling these little jewels out of a bag. And generally, anybody who's adjacent to you can join your dive. So when you're pulling these little jewels out of the bag, you're either pulling 2 different types of threat cubes, which is either lack of oxygen or something attacking you, these black or blue cubes, or the various other colors of the gems that you might be pulling out that are varying values. Here's what I liked about it. It was a push your luck game to where a lot of times when I'm diving, I know that my opponent is diving with me. They don't have but a certain set amount of oxygen. So I'm wanting to pull bad cubes so that they'll leave, that they'll have to be forced to leave the dive, and I'll get all the goods from it.
Sounds like Deep Sea Adventure.
I haven't played Deep Sea Adventure. I know you have. But Deep Blue, for some reason, I know you said it got a lot of critics against it.
I haven't heard like lots of the people I've seen on Instagram like don't like it.
It was all right.
The grain.
And I'm shocked to hear you say that because I was like, oh, that sounds like a game Jerry would hate.
It was all right. Now look, I don't like Push Your Luck. I hate Push Your Luck. I don't particularly like these. I don't want to call them family weight games, but they're games that should be more complicated, and they're kind of they're
it's
too
Days of Wonder.
no, they're too complicated for they're almost too gamey for family level, but they're not as
like
complicated.
Wild Hog.
They're not as complicated for medium weight.
Hunters would get that.
Either way,
Unproperly bled Wild Hog, kind of gamey.
Either way, Deep Blue was interesting.
You know what I find interesting? Let me tell you what I find interesting.
about
I
Hog?
sit here and talk about War Chest, and he's looking through his notes, waiting to talk about his next topic, completely ignoring everything I say
That
about
is
War
true.
Chest.
That is true.
And as soon as I say my last sentence, he just dives into this game and expects our rapt attention. I'm over Deep Blue Adventure. Deep Blue Sea.
I think Deep Blue Sea. That's
Samuel L.
I'm done with
Jackson.
it.
He got
but
eight.
He died.
He got in by that big shark.
He got eight.
But LL Cool
But they
J,
did not have.
He did make it.
LL Cool J,
They did not have Alzheimer's. Them sharks.
LL Cool J, he made it. And you know what?
The parrot made it too.
No, the parrot got 8.
Now I got 8. There's only
Gets
him,
eight.
LL Cool J and that other
Did the
woman.
shark eat the parrot?
Yeah, shark ate the parrot. LL Cool J made it.
LL Cool J made
I
it.
remember he stabbed that
Rare
shark
collection.
with his
And
cross,
then he went
right?
on to
Yeah.
work for NCIS, which is a spinoff of JAG. There you go.
See what happened when I make it? That's what
get
happens.
it.
Progression.
It all comes back around.
What happened to LL Cool J?
He's still
He's
making
still doing
NCIS. He's still doing his thing.
NCIS. It is still on the air.
It's still on there. Still going.
Is it?
Yes.
It's like the fifth
Yes.
iteration, and it's 10 years
It is
in.
still going
I
strong.
remember watching a documentary
Never seen it before.
about a music video of LL Cool J, and he talked about what it takes to make a good.
What it takes.
Tykes?
What it takes.
Hey, I'm working on my vernacular for Australia
Talks about what it takes.
for a good music video, and basically his thing was he looked at the camera and licked his lips. That was it the whole time. That's all he did.
It worked for him.
That worked for him.
And the ladies would swoon.
That was LL Cool J.
If you worked every single day,
Yes.
making $5,000 a day,
Right. Ballin', as they would say. Stacks on stacks. Right? Stacks up high. Where am I at with this? Is that right?
I mean, that was pretty good probably
It's close enough.
10 years ago.
I indeed have made it
If you worked every
precipitate,
single day, making $5,000 a
as
day,
in rain.
$5,000 a day from the time Columbus sailed to America
Okay.
to the time you are reading this tweet,
Okay. This is not a tweet.
you would still not. It is.
Oh.
You
go
would
ahead.
still not be a billionaire,
Okay. So
and you would still have less money than Jeff Bezos makes in a week.
I don't care about Jeff Bezos.
I'm just telling you how much $1 billion is.
I know it's a lot.
If you had if I had $1 billion,
It's a million.
if I had $1 billion, who sings that?
That's Bare Naked Ladies.
Thank you very much. That's going to do it for this podcast. Thank you for being on.
Buy you a
Bubba.
monkey.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate the privilege. and honor.
Enrique has left his mic.
He has
to
returned
go take care of business.
Yes, yes.
All right. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
This is Jerry.
Peace.
And
Bubba.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Velveeta sandwiches.
Nobody cares about your crackers.
Thank you for listening to the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.